picked up one of these.
Yeah,
Wasn't supposed to get one.
well, I figured, at the end of the meeting, if there was any left, you could have them.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it's,
Okay.
our reports are,
I'll put this back.
oh, you can leave it, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, the reason why I'm having one is because I have to read a report. I can share it when I'm done.
So
I don't know, I didn't number them. 7 o'clock, Brian, whenever you're ready.
Yep, okay. Okay, we'll call to order the meeting, the annual meeting for Town of Exonia for April 21st, 2026. Pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, proof of posting, Joanne,
Yes, it was posted last week.
Okay.
At the 3 places.
at the normal places.
Yep.
Okay, approval of the 2025 annual meeting minutes.
Move to approve as presented.
Who seconded, please? Brett, okay.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all's in favor, signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are set. Annual financial report.
So in the packet, we have the budget comparison for the general fund. You'll have revenues. These are the audited financials. We had the audit last week, and they sent over the journal entries, so these are as of 12/31/2025. So overall, we had general taxes, we had $1,834,375 that we budgeted. And we were just a little bit over that with $1,845,727.81. And if you go down the list, you'll see that the major overage came in with miscellaneous revenues. And then under expenses, we had our overall expense budget. I suppose our revenue budget total was $4,166,693. And then our total revenues that we received were $4,234,227.40. So then on the expense side, we budgeted $4,166,693 in expenses, and our actual was $4,476,103.15, which I believe that is attributed to our road projects, because we had, when we did Marietta, we had money that we were spending that we have a grant for. We had the LRIP grant, and we have not gotten refunded from the state for those costs. So that will probably come in this year in 2026. Then you have your balance sheet, which shows our total assets at $12,594,392.07. We have total liabilities of $10,544,477.32. Our fund balance, which is $2,293.97.50, which is a very healthy fund balance. And I believe the town usually wants to keep about 10%, is it, or I can't remember what you guys pick for your fund balance.
No, usually we try around 20%.
Is it 20? Okay, so 20% of
Yeah.
your budget. So our grand total is $17,071,802.22. And then you have statement of revenue and expenditures, which actually is just kind of a repeat of the budget summary. And then we have the utility district one. We had an overall budget revenue of $2,007,750. And our overall expense then, of course, was $2,007,750. Our actual revenues for the UD one, Utility District one, was $2,044,516.75. Our expenses were $1,728,399.81. So we were a little bit, 86% of our budget was used. And then again, you have the balance sheet for the UD one, with total assets at $31,330,660.64. And then you have your total liability at $21,799,313.76. Total fund equity of $8,772,713.71. Total expenditures was the $1,728,399.81, for a total of $33,059,060.45 in revenues and expenditures for the year. And then again, you have statement of revenues and expenses for UD one, which is a summary of what we just kind of went over. UD two had an overall budget of revenues for $538,084, and our actual revenue came in at $560,075.28. Actual, so then our budgeted expenditures matched the revenues at $538,084, and our actual revenues came in at $381,348.11. And again, the balance sheet for UD2 is showing our total assets at $2,289,201.40. We have total liabilities of $78,339.51. Fund balance, $2,032,134.72. And then our total expenditures, again, on there were $381,348.11. Did you want questions, anything on the finances, or no?
I don't know, does anybody have any questions on utility one or utility two? Some big numbers in utility one.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of that's, because of our new plant that we
Yep.
have operating.
Yes.
It went online as of January of 2025, so we have,
Just a quick
Big debt.
question. The budget's $538,000, and the actual expenses was $560. Did we have that extra money to cover for that?
well, yeah, you have the fund balance,
Okay, all right.
which then, whenever you're short, your fund balance would take care of that.
Just clarifying that point.
Mhm.
Okay, moving on, building inspector, Joe.
Yeah, the building inspector is not here, and he did not have a report ready. He said that he could supply it at like one of our next meetings if you still want a report.
Okay, well, building is starting to pick up, so things are gonna start getting busy, we know that, so.
Do you want a report like for May, or do you want?
I think it wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
At least we can have it on file here, and if somebody has a question or wants to view it, we'll have it here.
Okay,
I'd like to see that.
all right.
Transfer site,
Utility District 1 and 2 first?
well, okay, yes.
Okay. You want me to read those reports, because Jeff's not
Yeah.
here? Okay. So the report from the plant operator, Jeff Wagner, for UD1. Utility District Number 1 is made up of 1,129 users. That's REUs. The district is made up of six lift stations, 65,000 linear feet of pipe, a fine screen, and the new treatment plant. 83 million gallons of wastewater passed through the treatment plant for 2025. This is up from 2024 by 1 million gallons. 83 million gallons of wastewater equates to a daily average of 0.227 thousand gallons per day. 0.227 thousand gallons per day comes to 201 gallons per day per user, or REU. 2025 saw a high flow of 540,000 gallons pass through the plant on September 10th. Its lowest flow recorded was 163,000 gallons on August 8th. During 2025, the wastewater treatment plant recorded 32.5 inches of precipitation, down 4.3 inches from 2024. The cost of treatment came to 0.024 cents per gallon. That is up 0.01 cent from 2024. Hauled in waste came in at 834,815 gallons for septic and 712,415 gallons of holding tank waste. These hauled in wastes came to a total income of $55,913.13. District 1 had a total of 235 locates requested, up 9 from 2024. 5 of the 6 lift stations that make up District 1 now have standalone natural gas generators. That's all I have for UD1.
In UD2,
UD2, Utility District Number 2 is made up of 543 users, or considered REUs, and consists of 42,043 linear feet of pipe and 4 lift stations which flow into the city of Oconomowoc. Utility Number 2 had a total of 28,592,816 gallons of wastewater go through its 2 major lift stations on its way to Oconomowoc for treatment. This is a 2,277,584 gallons decrease from 2024. The Heights, which is north of Highway 16, sent 7,630,257 gallons of wastewater onto Oconomowoc through the Lac La Belle lift station. The Acres, which is south of Highway 16, sent 20,592,816 gallons of wastewater by means of the Division lift station onto Oconomowoc as well. Average daily flow was 78,336 gallons. 78,336 gallons per day comes to 144 gallons per day per user, or REU. Locates for District 2 were up by 74 for a total of 164. 67% of the budget for District 2 went directly to the city of Oconomowoc for treatment and licensing. 33% for operating costs. Cost of treatment came to 0.0188 per gallon. That's all I have for you.
okay. Thank you. I didn't know if we had one or not. I didn't see Jeff here.
Yep, he submitted them.
Transfer site.
I don't see Dave here. Did you want me to read that one too?
I guess it's,
Okay. So this is the transfer sites annual report. 5,400 residents from Ixonia and Concord utilized the site, which broke down to an average of 103.9 users per week. 91 tons of single stream recyclables and 224 tons MSW trash were collected in 2025 from the site. Intake for e-waste in 2025 was 12,177 pounds compared to 10,670 pounds collected in 2024, resulting in an increase of 1,507 pounds collected and recycled. 108 bikes were collected and sent to Dream Bikes in Milwaukee for refurbishment and distribution. Tires brought into the site for recycling intake decreased from 496 tires collected in 2024 to 250 tires collected and shipped out to Liberty Title for recycling in 2025. 920 gallons of used oil, 3 55-gallon drums of used oil filters, and 110 gallons of used antifreeze were taken at the site during 2025 and transferred to Safety Clean for recycling. In the beginning of 2025, the site's primary single stream and MSW trash service was LRS. LRS was bought out by GFL Environmental Service of Detroit, Michigan. The transfer site is now locally serviced by GFL out of Heartland, Wisconsin. And with that transition, the site has entered into a 5-year service agreement that stabilizes annual service increases to 5% per year, which allows for streamlined budgeting from year to year. Lithium and NiCad batteries have become part of just about everything we as a society touches. To that end, the site does accept these batteries and properly sends them to Elite Energy Distribution in Brookfield, Wisconsin for recycling. Lithium batteries are dangerous and can spontaneously combust if not handled carefully and disposed of properly. Last year, approximately 125 pounds of these batteries were properly recycled. The continuing cooperation, assistance, and support from Joanne, Megan, and the Highway Shop helps to ensure the smooth operation of the transfer site. These efforts are greatly appreciated. It is vital to note that the transfer site operates on the income, I think that's supposed to say, user fees, Wisconsin DNR grant and recycling metal revenues, and does not incur any burden to the taxpayers of Ixonia and Concord while providing a vital alternative to curbside service in the towns of Ixonia and Concord. The 2025 transfer site staff consisted of Carl Carrero, retired late spring of 2025, John Greasy was new hire summer of 2025, Brandon Gens, Eric Van Laer, and Dave Schilling. Regards, Dave Schilling.
Okay, moving on to Park and Rec. Peter?
Good evening. I'm Peter Mark, the Park and Rec Commissioner. We currently have 5 board members on the Park and Rec Commission. Ryan Lipskevix, Chris Griswold, Amanda Ewart, and Rick Ziegler. And Park and Rec employee Andrew Odette, and 2 summer help employees that assist us during the summer months. Over the past year, 2 of our members of the board have retired from the Park and Rec board, and because of their life changes and other commitments that they have. We would like to thank Heather Harris and Carl Yeager for their dedication and commitment to the board over the past several years, and we wish them well and the best on their future endeavors. We are looking for additional volunteers to be on the Park and Rec board, so if anyone is interested in helping us out, we would greatly appreciate that. Ixonia Park and Rec oversees 3 parks, organizes several community events, and works on several organizations using the parks for multiple sports activities. And there are 4 pavilions available for rent to the general public for gatherings like family reunions, graduations, memorial services, etc. Ixonia Park offers baseball fields, football field, golf disc course, horseshoe pits, sand volleyball courts, and lots of open green space for everyone to utilize. We prefer your dogs not leave their waste in our green areas, but they can be utilized for your dog to be walked around on the leash. In the past year, Park and Rec again organized the annual Easter egg hunt that included the egg hunt, face painting, and craft project activities for the children. The weather did cooperate for us last year very well. And we want to give thanks to Ixonia Victory 4-H Club and Ixonia Volunteer Firemen's Association for their support of this event, both in stuffing the eggs and sponsoring the crafts and prizes and candy for the kids. The committee also organized a fall festival, which included the night sports team concessions, merchants market, a touch truck, Halloween costume contest, and of course, lots of treats and candy for the kids. Ixonia Bank, in conjunction with the Park and Rec Board, held another movie night in August Funds raised from that activity went to the Fireman's Park Playground Equipment Fund. All events were very well attended by the community at large. Short-range projects for Park and Rec Committee includes the fundraising for the replacement of the children's play equipment in Fireman's Park. And as most of you know, the playground equipment there is very worn and is in need of replacement. And several pieces of that playground have been taken out of order so that they would not injure any of the kids playing on it. For additional information on the Park and Recreation activities, please go to our website at exonia.com and look for us on the Town of Exonia Facebook page. Should you like to rent one of the Exonia parks, please contact the staff at Exonia Town Hall. We encourage all of the organizations to take part in our community activities and enjoy our parks as a whole. In conclusion, I would like, the Park and Rec Board would like to thank the town board for their continued support, the Highway Department for their helping hand when we need it most, and finally the Town Hall staff for managing the many activities and things going on in the park, including reservations for the parks and organizing the baseball teams and stuff like that. So we give a thanks to all of those that give us a helping hand. That's my report. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Ben, Highway Department.
The Public Works Department is responsible for the maintenance of the town's 72 miles of roadway. In 2025, these responsibilities included snow and ice removal, roadside mowing, shoulder repair, ditching, brush and tree removal, roadside spraying, pothole repair. And additionally, the crew diligently maintains the town's fleet of equipment and other municipal properties. In 2025, Cartechner Brothers undertook a total reconstruction of 0.51 miles and the pulverizing and repaving of approximately 0.74 miles of the following roads for a total cost of $836,413.57. Marietta Avenue from County F to River Valley Road, Hillendale Drive, and Division Street. For the road work done on Marietta Avenue, the town received an ARIP grant from the state of Wisconsin for $437,500, was supposed to say, equaling about 70% of the project. Scott's Construction seal coated 1.23 miles of the following roads for a cost of $91,816.90. Swansea Drive, Cardiff Lane, and Rock River Road. A total of 32 right-of-way permits were issued for the work in the right-of-way, and additionally 9 driveway permits were issued as well. In 2025, the department successfully managed 22 different snow and ice events, ensuring the roads remained safe and clear. A total of approximately 740 man-hours, 390 tons of rock salt, and 4,690 gallons of salt brine were utilized in these efforts. On May 14th, 2025, the town suffered a major hailstorm in which all of the town's 25 buildings and other structures suffered damage, and we have been working through the process to have all the damage repaired under our insurance claim. The Public Works Department received delivery of a 2025 4700 set forward axle Western Star tri-axle truck chassis in June 2025. The truck is currently at Burt Truck Equipment in Madison and is being fitted with the box and plow equipment, and hopefully it will be put into service in the fall of 2026. The department started a feasibility study for the possibility of a new DPW facility. The vacant property west of W1276 Elmwood Avenue, the current transfer site, was identified as the ideal location for the possible new facility. And it was decided to move forward with planning of the facility in 2026. I'd like to thank you to the Public Works crew, John Wandersee, John Jensen, Jeremy Reimer and Dave Schilling. Also thank you to Andrew Burdette, the Parks Manager, for their assistance. As a small team, we rely on cooperation to achieve all our goals. Thank you to Joanne, Amanda, and Megan for their administrative help and support for the Public Works Department. And thank you to the Town Board for your work with the Public Works Department.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Fire and EMS, Calvin?
Good evening, everyone. As I look back on 2025, it was the busiest year for our department in history. We've responded to 358 calls for service, reflecting the continued growth of our community and increased demands placed on our department. Of those 358 calls, there were 15 instances where we had 2 calls occurring at the same time, and 1 instance where we had 3 calls occurring simultaneously. Even during those peak periods, we maintained coverage and did not miss a single call for service. That is something we are extremely proud of and speaks to the dedication and reliability of our personnel. We currently provide coverage for approximately 60 square miles and just over 6,200 residents, while also continuing to support our neighbor communities. In 2025, we provided 68 mutual aid responses, reinforcing how important it is for those partnerships. Like many fire departments, staffing continues to be a challenge. At this time, we have 2 full-time members working Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then we are supported evenings and weekends by paid on-call, paid per call personnel. From a response standpoint, daytime response times remained steady, and we saw an improvement during nights and weekends, which is encouraging given our current staffing model. Training remains a top priority. Over the past year, our members completed nearly 1,000 hours of training along with certifications, specialized courses. This is an ongoing investment ensuring that when serious situations arise, our personnel are prepared to respond safely and effectively. On the fire prevention side, we conducted over 460 fire inspections and worked through hundreds of code violations. We also remained active in the community through a number of outreach and education efforts. We delivered fire prevention programs to students at the Ixonia Elementary School, as well as St. Paul's of Ixonia School, reaching children from 4K through 8th grade. We also provided education to local daycare programs at Ixonia St. Paul's for their fall session. And we also hosted Girl Scout troops from Ixonia at the fire station and provided fire safety education to the Oconomowoc Cub Scouts Pack 49 at First Congregational Church in Oconomowoc. In addition to participating in several community events, including Lights and Sirens in the City of Watertown, Trunk or Treat at Ixonia Fireman's Park, Fall Fest at Ixonia Fireman's Park, these events are an important way for us to connect with the community and promote fire safety and awareness. From an equipment standpoint, we operate with 2 engines, 2 ambulances, a tender, a brush truck, and an ATV. A committee has been established to plan for the replacement of one of our ambulances with the goal of signing contracts later this year with a production timeline of 2 to 3 years. At that time, the ambulance that we'll be replacing will be 22 to 23 years old. We also have formed a committee to plan the replacement of our oldest engine with the goal of signing contracts in early 2027 with an estimated 2 to 4 year production timeline. That engine will be 32 to 34 years old at the time of replacement. Looking ahead, our focus remains on building a sustainable future while maintaining the level of service you come to expect. In the coming year, we will present the findings of our fire station feasibility and concept study process that will shape an important conversation about developing a facility capable of supporting 24/7 on-site staffing. That kind of investment will improve response times, strengthen operational readiness, and position us to meet the growing demands of the community for years to come. In closing, I want to recognize the hard work and dedication of all the personnel on the Ixonia Fire Department that continue to show up, put in the time, and serve this community with professionalism and pride. I also want to thank the town board, along with the town hall staff and the DPW staff for their continued support and partnership. The work we do behind the scenes plays an important role in helping us operate effectively and serve the community. Finally, I want to thank all the residents for putting the trust in us every day. It truly makes what we do possible. We are committed to building a sustainable future while continuing to provide a level of service our residents expect and deserve. Thank you.
Thanks, Calvin.
Thank you.
Dave, Planning Commission.
Keep it short and sweet. Planning Commission is made up of seven members at large. Great mix of rural, subdivision, professionals, business owners. So, and I've got a pool in the background ready to fill in spots if any are needed. So, we've increased it from 5 to 7 this year. They're unpaid, but all very dedicated, very committed. We've got a lot going on right now. We're getting calls weekly from commercial, industrial, and subdivision wise. So, as Brian alluded to, our building inspector is gonna get busy, as is the planning commission. Just a little background, we make information is brought to us, recommendation or requests are brought to us. The petitioner will present it, we'll make a recommendation to the town board. The town board will hear the petition, questions, answers, then the town board makes a recommendation to the county. So just to give you a little overview of how that plays out, so. But very busy, a lot going on, and I mean, we knew this was a great place, and there's a lot of people that are finally identifying that. We'll get calls probably weekly from the county. So, any questions?
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Town Assessor.
I didn't get anything from them. So,
Okay.
Again, I can reach out to them and see if they want to submit something, and we can bring it up at a future meeting.
Yeah, I'd like to just have it available here.
Okay.
Okay, Clerk Treasurer, Joanne.
The Town of Exonia Clerk Treasurer Department was kept busy throughout 2025. The April election presented a new town chairman, Brian Durkee. Thank you to Perry Getch for your dedication to the Town of Exonia, who had served it for over 30 years. Staff at the Town Hall assisted with normal day-to-day activities, including payroll, accounts payable, utility billing, accounts receivable, and many phone calls. Our office is open Monday through Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Fridays we are closed to the public, but we are in the office 7:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. We serve a multitude of constituents who enter or call the town hall with utility payments, dog licenses, taxes, permits, complaints, liquor licenses, and many other things. In 2025, we had some personnel changes. Jennifer Lenz left in December, and in early 2026, we hired Amanda Glizhinsky. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but anyway. In 2025, changes were made at the town hall. We, in how we're structured here, we have one office that was made into a meeting room, which also includes a large screen TV for sharing information for those that attend small meetings. The Park and Rec Department has been mostly moved out of the town hall. That's Andrew's department, his office. This past year, a few of the staff have been working with the community leaders to formulate a plan to raise money to replace the playground equipment at Fireman's Park. I'm happy to report that letters to taxpayers were mailed out, and they generated some donations, which we are all very grateful for. But the work has just begun. The fundraising group has a long way to go to reach the goal. One goal, which is a major one, is to raise enough funds to reach the halfway mark that will enable the town to apply for some higher yielding grants. To reach that high goal, the group has begun planning community events to raise the money needed. They are very excited to get some community activities planned for 2026 and beyond. This past year, the clerk's office undertook a large project to convert town emails and domain to a .gov. This is a requirement from the state of Wisconsin to ensure communications and processes between government agencies are protected. It was a long process. A lot of upgrades to the town's IT system were needed. This also included the fire and highway shop. The final steps will be completed in early 2026. By completing this project, it showed us where the town needed to spend a little more time focusing on securing the office infrastructure. More changes will be coming in the next few years, and a plan for future upgrades will be required, which will help with future budgetary needs. Office staff have been working on maintaining an active website, keeping it updated with the latest information for residents. We are constantly making changes and improvements. In 2025, office staff brought back the town's Facebook page. The Facebook page is intended to be a resource for information and is not being used as a form of communication with staff. The community is still required to reach out by phone or email. With the new Utility District 1 plant online since January, there's an anticipation of new development soon. The office staff have been working with other departments to work on policies and procedures.
Thank you, Joanne. Lake Country Municipal Court.
So Judge Kay was supposed to be here, and then something came up in his schedule, and he couldn't come here. So from what I understand, he plans on being here for the May 11th meeting.
Okay, well, we're part of the system, but we really don't use it. Jefferson County Supervisor.
Okay, Jefferson County. I serve on several committees in Jefferson County. One of them is the EMS committee, which I'm gonna start out with tonight. We have what's called the EMS Working Group Committee, where we're looking at the EMS system in Jefferson County, hopefully to help out the fire departments with some monetary value or monetary funds to support the EMS service and bring it up to 24/7 coverage all throughout the county. How this is all gonna work out yet, we don't know for sure. We're working with a couple groups from the university that are studying this, and part of it is their class plans, and that which we will be getting some of that on the 4th of May. And that we're looking at to come up with the funds, or looking at what's gonna be a system that the state allows us to do that doesn't reflect on levy limitations, that we can actually charge, put it on a tax roll to come up with some extra money for the EMS services, because right now everybody's limited as far as their EMS and fire department budgets. It falls under levy limitations, and that it's gonna depend on what the county board decides to do as far as what the funding will be. Whether this will happen it won't happen in 2026, it might happen in 2027. We're nowhere near making a commitment on that yet, so, but we're trying to help out to get some more funding for EMS services, because everybody in the county feels that EMS is an important thing for all members of Jefferson County, since the population of Jefferson County is over 86,000 people, and that doesn't include travel through and out and everything. So it'll be interesting. I chair that committee. It's been interesting chairing it, because there's a lot of different personalities that have to be talked with in that. Okay. The liquid natural gas facility here in town of Ixonia. Earlier this year, we found out that Department of Revenue said that Jefferson County and town of Ixonia weren't entitled to any benefits from that as far as the utility tax credit. And so that required some fast work with legislators and everything to find out what happened here. Well, then it was committed, they came up with a formula that was very outdated that we could use, and at least they got some money for us. I think the town got $385,000, something like that. County got a little bit more than that, but that's a long ways from the 1.1 million the county was supposed to get, and the 550,000 that the town was supposed to get. Michael Lucky County Board Administrator, or Jefferson County Administrator, started working with state legislatures, lots of letter writing, got 2 bills introduced, one into the Assembly, one into the Senate, to get this changed. Had to go to several meetings, testify in front of the Assembly. I went to that one, Brian went to that one along with Michael Luckby. I couldn't make the Senate one, so sent a letter into that and everything. So as the Assembly and Senate got together this year, here earlier this year, they approved this new bill. There were 2 bills, but they actually came down to Act 186, I believe it was, that the Senate and the Assembly approved so that we could get this full money, and so then it went to the governor here on the 2nd of April. Myself and Michael Luckby, and quite a few other people from different areas went to the governor's office, and he signed the bill. So we will get our $550,000 for the town of Ixonia, and the county will get the 1.1 million. And so that was a big hurdle to get over, because that was a lot of money that might not have been there. And so that's handled. Sheriff's Department. This year saw some pretty great gains in the Sheriff's Department, because we were down by 22 officers, I believe, in the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. We are now up to full staff in the Sheriff's Department. They hired officers, they did some changes there. They no longer have to go through the process of being in the jail first to become a patrol officer, because that's where we were losing a lot of officers, because they didn't want to be in the jail doing jailer's work versus being out on patrol. So things have changed that way. So you've probably seen it, the county has been around a little bit more in town of Ixonia, and that because they have enough officers to patrol the areas. So they're a little more prevalent, not saying that they're always gonna be there when you need them, but they have more officers to get there. Dispatch center in the Sheriff's Department is going to be changing in June. It's going to be a dispatch center it's called EMD dispatching, emergency medical dispatching. We're going from 2 dispatchers on duty all the time to 4 dispatchers on duty, and they're gonna be trained in the emergency medical field to handle the calls. And what that means is, you call 911, they're gonna lock onto your phone, they're gonna keep you online, and so that they can talk you through a problem or find out more information as this is going on, or listen in if somebody falls over, and the phone will still be active, that they can hear what's going on until EMS services or fire services get there. And that it's gonna be a transition period. It's not gonna work smoothly at first, because a lot of these people have to get trained, but so there's gonna be a total of 10 new dispatchers coming on board. So we're making progress that way. I'm on the Highway Committee, and it's interesting, I think, if you heard Ben talking about how much snow removal and all that is in Jefferson County. We had, I believe, 60, I think Tron told us 60 inches of snow this year. And if you remember back to November, December, in there when we had that big snowstorm, and that was all over the whole county, that one snowstorm cost the county $268,000 with plow time, salt, and all this wear and tear on the trucks. They all keep track of that and everything. So that takes up a pretty good chunk of budget when they have that. And I think the last time he told us, now he's had 3 of those events, so there's a lot of money that went for Highway Department that way. They got a bunch of roads they're gonna be doing again this year. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people have asked me about Highway P between Pipersville and Farmington. That is going to be the last road that gets a total resurface job, where they rebuild it from the ground on up. And that'll probably be in maybe 28, hopefully by 29. So I don't think there's gonna be much left of that road by the time they get to it, because it's pretty rough. But that's just the way it's worked out in the program. And bike trail is supposed to be finished here this summer. So you'll be able to go from the bike trail all the way from Watertown to Waukesha County to Second Street Road in Oconomowoc. The last thing that I have is I just was presented this tonight, the 2026 Jefferson County Solid Waste Program. We're gonna have some in April, some in September. They have the sites located. I'm sure Joanne will be getting some of these brochures from Solid Waste that she should have here. I just got this one tonight. One of the things I noticed here is, the drug drop-off boxes at the police departments. No questions asked, just bring the pills in and drop them off. Those are open all the time. So with that, I don't have anything else unless anybody's got some questions. Yes?
I heard that the Canadian Pacific line here might be expanding out to 2 tracks. Is that anything the county is aware of as of this moment?
They haven't contacted anybody at the county
Okay.
level. I don't know if they're doing track repair or if they're putting in 2 tracks. I don't think they're putting in 2 tracks, but maybe they are. But they're working on, they're working nights at this because they gotta keep the rail open for the daytime for the Amtrak.
Yep.
The 3 or 4 Amtraks that go through there daily. Brett?
What happened with the EMD, what changed there last time?
With the what?
The emergency medical dispatching. The last time I spoke with the sheriff, he said that was never gonna happen here. What happened to change that?
Well, they got a grant, a big grant from someplace, I forget where it was, and that will cover the cost of this, plus the county also put in money from the budget this year. So, and it might have been that the old sheriff wasn't gonna do anything, but the new sheriff has been pretty receptive to a lot of things now, so hopefully that continues on. Joni, you had a question?
Any idea on when they can fix CW?
No, I don't. And that might be that depends on, because that would be a cooperative project between Jefferson County and Dodge County, so, I haven't seen anything in the works for that yet. So, I can ask, we have a highway committee meeting, next week, Tuesday, so, doesn't hurt to ask. Kelvin?
That section of CW where the culvert washed out, that's in Dodge County, so Dodge County's taking care of that. They figured probably 4+ weeks before they can, because they got a special order at culvert for that.
Oh, sorry, he knows more about it than I do, so. If not, that's all I have.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're gonna open up the meeting for, any citizens that want any discussion or comments. We ask that you please come up to the podium, give your name and address so that Joanne can get it for the minutes. And anyone that wants to make a motion, we need the name and address also. So if there's anybody who wants to speak, the floor is open.
I do.
Okay?
I do anyway. Alright, so you need my name. I'm Courtney Belush. I live in Audubon Park. Sorry, do I have to talk into this thing? My address is N8319 Cardinal Pass. I was just wondering if there was any information regarding the proposed Dollar General store that I keep hearing about. is that a thing yet, or, I don't have any information, so I thought I'd come here and try and
Well,
get some up.
We can't take any action tonight. As a board or as chairman, I can't take any action. All I can tell you is there was some discussion. It hasn't come in front of any of the committees yet.
Okay. Did they come to us, or like, I don't know how that works.
Yes,
They did,
they came to us.
okay. I'm assuming there's not a lot of like big businesses knocking down the door to get into Exonia to begin with. Is that like a regular thing? I'm just asking people who would probably know. 'cause I
We
don't-
haven't seen any as of the moment, but it could change on Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I don't know what moves them, but
Okay, so I'm kind of at the wrong meeting, sounds like. I wanted to come anyway, though, I promise.
it's an evening for any comments, any direction that the people wish us to go in.
Okay,
But we cannot take any action on any of the comments that are brought up tonight, other than we'll refer to them later on in the year.
okay, good to know. It's good to know where we're at with that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any comments or suggestions? Wow, it's a quiet crowd. Okay. Set date for the 2027 annual meeting. It'd be Tuesday, April 20th, 2027,
Yep, 8 and 7 PM again.
7 PM. Now I need a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
Patrick Schultz got it.
Peter was a second.
Got that one, yep.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you everyone for coming. And if you have any comments during the year,